Straight.
You want to go ahead and clear out the chat, though.
It'll be fine.
Hey, welcome to the show, folks.
Announcements have been made. Since Bryce is still already, when we're already 8,000 can do theirs.
Waiting for people to come into the chat room.
Yeah, just whenever you're ready, you can do it.
Fairly ready, just wasn't sure if we should give people a chance to.
Yeah.
You want to
see
wait
the
till 8?
announcement.
I'd say wait till 8:10.
Yeah.
Sounds
Or
good.
2 minutes.
Oh, so Bryce, if you want to let up the music player.
In a moment.
Ninja Blade.
Ugh, I hate it when you get sores on the top of your nose. Like you so much as barely brushing your finger against it and it's just like...
So 8,000 when you're ready.
Right. Alrighty. Diary entry number 8. It's been a couple days since my last entry, but honestly not a whole lot happened yesterday. I had forgotten to use my mirror that night, too distracted by the disturbance of feeling the dungeon's dread. Had the dream again, and it was so intense that I ended up falling flat on my face when I tried to walk on 2 legs. That snapped me back to reality quickly. Thankfully, everyone was still recovering, so no one noticed. The only real event is that we agreed on a team name. Team Eclipse. Far too many teams seem to have double word names, so I like the elegance of it. Today started out really strong. Emmy had the Dream Theater Dream Eater TM in for me, so I was able to snag that up. Then it was off to spend time with Leela. I can't quite put my finger on it. Whether it be the way she smiles, her laugh, the way her flowers smells. Just something about her that just makes me feel at peace. While it seemed like a good chance to get to know her better, that didn't seem to come to pass. Though, I did get to hear about how Levi joined the team. I feel really bad for him. It seems terrifying to suddenly see your face on a wanted poster, knowing you're being hounded by rescue teams. I trust Levi that he was framed, as he claims. All the stuff Guild Leader mentioned seemed a little suspicious. And while I was hesitant to put any big physical efforts in today, I did end up agreeing to go trade with Luvi. See if we were able to work out a team attack together and maybe bond a bit. That's when we ran into Vanguard. Given how hard they were trying on a day off, I should have put more effort into avoiding them. It's very concerning how easily they suckered both Eclipse and Blackthorn into a battle. I'd call Vanguard thugs, but that would make them seem far less clever than they clearly are. So here I am now, sitting with Luvi and Levi while I try not to bump the cast on my tail. The three of us still shaken up by the fight. Aaron, their Flareon approached me just a few minutes ago, attempted to explain the reasoning for issuing the challenge. He even offered that the Hopeless Beatdown could be taken a lesson on the need for team cohesion. And I realized as I write this, that lesson came at the expense of Luvi and I's team building. Apparently such spars experience versus new are tradition, but pointing out that hazing a tradition does the opposite of making it better. It's so weird for how many of our side were so eager to be in the duel. Or does that make me the weirdo for not wanting to fight? End of diary entry number 8.
To be fair, Luvi wasn't all too thrilled about it either.
Mm-hmm.
It's true, but it's still a good entry. So,
Yeah. And Bryce?
Sure. Entry 10. Well, today's just full of things to learn, huh? Apparently, Team New Dawn has an entire holiday made for them. Much as I'd love to say that's self-entitled as hell, I can see why. The heroes. After all, people like to commemorate their heroes for what they do, even if they don't know them or vice versa. Though, speaking of getting to know these heroes, I always thought they'd be, the ones you hear on stories. Your average stoic badasses that are just doing their job, or the chatty ones that revel in their prior glories as life passes them by. Or the ones that don't feel they did a lot and people over-exaggerate. These guys, though? Artemis, Reuben, Kua? They are not that? Sure, they're happy for what they did. Understandably honored that they have a holiday made after them, but aside from lowering their guard and wanting a good laugh, they're... I suppose the word is normal? They're still good. They're good-natured individuals? Given all the hoopla I used to hear about them growing up, it says a lot. It was enough for me to relax myself and enjoy the air, enjoy the happiness, and, well, I relaxed a bit enough to talk about how I joined the team. I told Alavi and Padrock and those in the area listening how I found myself on a wanted poster, how I ran away like a freaking idiot. I basically became a rescuer, not by choice, but by happenstance. Much as I assumed that telling them all this would alienate me, I found that they were rather sympathetic and interested. However, Rain did ask a piercing question. Did I want to talk about why? Do I know why? Do I really know who could have done it? Well, I have a good idea, but I don't want to talk about it. I'm pretty sure he knows too. I realize not wanting to be open about something like that may have cost me some of those sympathy points, but it's safer than the alternative. As for later, we met Team Vanguard, and they're a fun group. Sheriff Apollo went head over heels about them, just talking about all the stuff they did, and honestly, I'd rather be one rather they show than tell. And, well, I certainly regretted those choice of words. They offered to spar with us, and admittedly I had the option to say no. Why didn't I say no? Of course, I didn't want to be the one to let everybody else down. Everyone else said yes, and, well, I didn't want to be the odd one out in the matter. And sure, I'll get my ass kicked by a group of people that are obviously more powerful than me. What's the worst that can happen? Ah, jeez. At the very least, what one of their members said, Aaron, I believe it was, it caught me off guard. Flareon, that's what she is. She apologized for what happened and explained it was a tradition and that this happens all the time, and the more that she talked, the more I just kind of loathed it. Even then, even when I gave a rebuttal, her response was not one that I expected. She learned a lot more from the fight than I did, and it made me realize just how much I didn't know. About the world, about different people, about myself. Maybe I misjudged him a bit. Maybe. But, huh? No. Seems we're about to get ready to get back and moving around. Yeah, I've been sitting in this grass long enough. I'll write more later on. In Dimitri's hen.
Hoopa comes in. Did someone say hoopla?
I will shock you.
So that brings us to session 11.
Right. The music. I forgot.
And you forgot to log into Roll20.
That too.
Like, the moment I heard hoopla, I was just like, okay, Hoopa has to come in and say that at one point.
That got me thinking about SpongeBob.
I know, that's the point.
Okay. We are in business.
Mm-hmm. And with that.
Uh-huh.
So after the little spar and taking some time to settle down, the team has returned to the tavern to sort of mingle. And what's everyone doing at the moment?
Apollo is blending into his surroundings.
Between two fluffs.
Between a fluff and a soft place.
You see Aluvi looking at this like, what is he doing?
Levi is, like, quietly stewing in this spot, just not a word out of his mouth, but evidently whatever was said and the fight itself, he's left inside of his own thoughts contemplating. He does take a passive glance over in this general direction towards not only Blackthorn, but also Vanguard. At the same time, he's also keeping an eye on the Nick next to him.
Leafeon, though.
No, not the Leafeon.
I know, but I mean, Leafeon.
They know they're there, but they're more focused on Vanguard, if anything.
Padrock is
And the Naked. Sorry, go ahead.
Padrock is just kind of sitting in his seat, trying to figure out whether he should. Basically, he's just trying to buzz out what he should try to do with the rest of the festival.
What's Casper doing?
Vibing,
Vibing with
flourishing,
Emmy.
hydrated, in his lane,
So he's vibing with Emmy.
pretty much.
Fair enough.
Just resting a bit after the fight.
Dancing sparks across the table.
I'm also waiting for my food to get here, so
There.
Fair.
food good.
Oshkosh bagosh, it's an Oshawa.
The Duat gets a drink from Emily and gives a little wave to Castor and the others before wandering back, and then stops when Cataract walks out.
He. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to get in your way.
Oh, it's nothing. He just continues on down south.
I need to get out of this headspace. Hey, what do y'all plan to do? I may go for a walk or something. What about y'all?
I was. What am I thinking of? I remember. You told me about the spot you liked in downside. I might sneak off with her to go check it out. And
Wait, what?
what is that thing?
Hey, just because you can fly doesn't mean you should fly back here. Can you get out of the tavern, please? Oh, sorry. Can I get some water too? Emmy just sighs and gives her a glass of water too, and she gives a little nod and bow to her before floating off.
Levi, what's the matter? You feel like you're gonna catch a Joltik in your mouth if you keep holding up.
They're just here casually?
Levi,
Is that kind
what's the
of
matter?
shaved Abra?
No! That, how will you not know what that is?
You forget
is
that
a-
you forget that I've not been very far from where I've lived.
You have an excuse! It's a freaking Mew!
Soontight?
No!
Be able to possibly roll for this.
You could roll either Pokemon or Colt.
Okay.
Mews don't just. No, my god.
Oh, man. The drawings of those are way off. I guess they were heavily stylized.
Yes, they're also. I don't know. Probably older than some of the books that we've seen in the library.
You mind elaborating?
Yeah.
That is a Mew. Mews are legendary Pokemon. Some say that before anything else came into existence, I mean, say for some legendaries, that was the first Pokemon to exist.
So you're saying that we're all cousins?
Many times removed, I'd imagine.
More like grandchildren?
Levi legitimately couldn't respond to that. He just wait.
I mean, he's not wrong in some sense of the word.
You're not wrong. I don't want to say yes, but you're not wrong.
We'll just keep it at that then. I don't need to be even more complicated with family matters than I already am.
Hey, that makes two of us.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's Apollo. But
Oh, yeah,
hey,
Apollo.
oh sorry, y'all go ahead.
Looking to try and get a refill in water, please.
Oh yeah, here you go. Jeez.
Thank you. Apollo just takes the jug in his mouth and is like craning his neck just so he doesn't spill it out.
Sort of makes a little nigger giggle as she does that.
I'm sure.
But hey, Padrock.
I'm sure.
Oh, sorry.
Apollo's gonna,
Artemis is currently BRB.
okay. Apollo is like reaching out a paw to try and paw at Moria so he can slip back to the table and actually set the jug down.
I'm gonna just have Levi come around this side, and given their small weight, just step up and help out take the jug and put it down.
Ah, thank you, Levi.
Team hands.
Just help out Apollo there for a bit.
Is it really a team if there's only one member?
Well, points to Celine.
I meant just a subset of our team. Oh, hey, Apollo.
Hi.
Meh.
Hi.
Hi.
Any plans for the rest of the night now that we're done seeing what other teams are made of and what we're not made of? And
Yeah.
before you ask, had I known it was going to be that much of a blowout, I would have turned them down on that challenge.
Yeah. For me, I'm still thinking about that. However, I know at least one of us have plans for the evening.
Do tell.
Levi just quietly leans around Apollo and looks towards Padrock.
Padrock is just smirking back at them.
What are you still doing here? Go.
Is,
Go be
I
happy.
guess.
is Artemis back?
Oh, probably should wait till that. Out of character, probably should wait till then.
Yeah.
There's like a... Yeah,
How about we talk to the Naked instead of pretending they don't exist there?
You see, the naked keeps trying to get things out of my out of my bag, so I'm just keeping an eye on them already. Yes, I've noticed.
I feel like there's
She
a...
seems to be just sort of minding her own business, sipping on her water.
You can do the innocent act all you want. I'm on to you.
out of character, like a... Pretty sure the slip away is meant to happen just a little bit later, but...
Not a problem.
Levi,
Already-
I know
already
you're
started, so that can
I know
happen.
you're superstition, but isn't it a bit rude to just assume that they're going to do something when they've only done it one time, perhaps?
You haven't been paying attention to what they just did a moment ago.
And you haven't been paying attention to her demeanor.
I don't trust it.
Hello, what I miss?
Boobs.
Welcome back.
Moshi is Apollo grabbing some water and then back around to the table. So, Emmy looks over at Rosa and says, "Hey, so you can go take a break for now. I'd like to little moment with my grandson." Rosa just looks over at her and then gives a nod before stepping off.
Be back.
Tap, 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 tap.
Hey, Caster.
Hello, Gran.
Can you come around here?
Alright.
Tippy taps.
And she pours a glass of water over to set it by him and takes a deep breath. So, it's been a while since your team started. What do you think of things now?
I guess I trust them a little bit more. I still don't like how we've been volunteered people to join the team as opposed to being able to pick out who fits us best, but that's Apollo for you.
Well, it's more Rain than an Apollo. He seems to know things that we don't quite understand. Maybe he's onto something.
Maybe. You've worked with him personally, so you probably know better than I do. Looking at it from the outside, though, all the records really I've looked at really say about him, all they really say is how he kind of just fled and hid after Eternatus showed up. So it's really hard to form a good picture of him, only knowing that.
The records don't always say everything, and he was there when Team Nudon and the others went to fight Eternatus last time.
Color me skeptical.
And if you remember, Apollo did do sort of the same thing when things turned bad for him.
I suppose. But he is long dead, so
Yeah.
I can't really say much about his actions. Besides, there's a lot more evidence of what he did with Team Nudon than there is with Rain. I'll just leave it at that.
Rain prefers to keep things private.
V is unconvinced.
Hey Mom, hey Caster.
Hi, Mom.
And Aaron just sort of gives a little nuzzle to Caster, and Emmy smiles over to her and she's like, "Oh hey, it's been a while."
Here, you absolute asshole of a cat. I need this mic to stay on my desk.
But I gotta knock things over.
I gotta check that gravity works, and I gotta make this spot mine. Really? Buster, you asshole! We just had this. I'm going to hold the mic now.
I know that feeling.
So the Flareon just sort of sits down on the other side of Caster and gives his cheek a nuzzle, and she's like, "Yeah, that's been a while. How have you two been? I hope you've been well."
He just gonna lean and smush up against his mom a bit.
He's
Happy, fluffy, warm.
a fluffy, warm, fluffy little ball of
Flurry fluff.
Aaron just smiles and gives a look over his ear and is like, how's your team been? How have you been?
It's been doing well. We've had a lot of members join us. Apollo is still doing well, rushing in headlong without thinking things through a whole lot. More of the same. Though we've definitely met a lot of interesting characters.
Well, he tries his best. And I'm sorry for that little scuffle we had earlier. Probably should have announced myself a little more sooner.
I was just happy to see you. Just, I didn't expect things to... One moment. I didn't expect things to be so... I didn't expect to be so outclassed, honestly. I should have, but I just wasn't.
Maybe there's some things you can learn from your mom after all still.
When you're finally still in town.
I'm sorry. I've been really busy.
I know. It doesn't help that I'm part of a rescue team now too, so you're out and I'm in and I'm out and you're in and
then your dad's just off on his own all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vulcan. I wish we got to see him more.
I barely remember the last time I saw him, honestly.
You remember what he is, I hope.
Oh, of course. It's hard to forget a Typhlosion.
I'm sure he'll come around sometime. For all, he can't leave his family forever.
Out of character. Challenge accepted.
She looks over at Emmy. She's like, "Hey, Mom, could I get a glass of pineapple juice?" Emmy nods and goes over and grabs a glass before setting it on the table and sliding it over to Aaron. The Flareon takes a little sippy and just sort of starts to settle down next to her son and mother. And Emmy's like, "So Hayden, how have you been doing?" "Mom? Huh? Don't call me that here, please. Too many people around." "Oh, sorry." "I've been okay. Team Vanguard's been doing all sorts of things. Sometimes difficult to keep up, being the newest member, even though I've been there for as long as I have."
Castor just gonna lean in and bury his face in Mom's warm fluff and just low keep her. I'm going to take that moment to grab my food because it arrived.
Food.
My food.
Fire fluff.
Food.
That said, is there actually any possible way anybody would have heard that at all?
No.
I'm guessing not.
Nope.
Would have just seen the gestures of affection.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Like,
Just Castor in
I was-
his natural habitat.
Yeah, I was asking in the case of like a roll or anything like that. I'm guessing that's not possible.
Nah, you would have been too far away.
That.
But Erin just sort of continues sipping her juice and chatting with Emmy, and we'll actually wait a little bit for Artie to come back.
Apollo's just sitting at the table and finally looks over at Glacialis. So, any plans for you for the rest of the day?
Oh, well, I don't often get to see Artemis and Moria, so I planned on staying a little bit with them. Spending some time before they go off tomorrow.
That's fair.
And they're going to be taking your room tonight, but you usually sleep in the guild hall.
I haven't spent a night in that house in a long time.
Maybe you
Hard to
should
believe
sometime.
Apollo built that thing himself and then renovated it when New Dawn came through. Though I hear Sunrose periodically like to help him with the drywall.
The
Yeah.
entire building.
I mean, we wanted to start off fresh. And living there kept him out of the way of the new masters. Oh yeah, now I remember. Sunrose learned how to do drywall because she ended up blowing a hole in Apollo's roof one of the times when the new masters tried to come here.
Wish that was just coincidence at that.
Nice.
I remember something about that. Didn't she mention that at one point?
Yeah.
I may have done something similar when I first joined the council a long time ago.
I can only imagine what you possibly could have done.
Well, I was practicing a spell and it didn't go too well, and I got a bit of a mouthful for that.
A mouthful of what?
For that.
Oh,
They bit my ear off, so to speak.
Hello, MV. Return.
Heavy. Over here, Aaron and Emmy are just sort of chatting with each other and Caster. And Aaron's like,
to the bite.
so what do you plan to do next, dear?
Well, I'm not sure, honestly. Glacialis has told us a lot about what exactly these distortions are, and it sounds like we're going to be some of the ones who sort of spearhead the effort to find them and manage them and try and figure out why they're popping up everywhere.
You, New Dawn, Vanguard. Gonna be a number of people going around trying to figure this out. And your little time-crossing friend over there still hasn't really told us much about them. Still have to wonder if she knows much.
Caster kind of hesitates for a second and mulls it over. He is caught between a rock and a hard place. On the one hand, he feels like he needs to tell stuff to Mom. On the other hand, Glacialis' secrets really aren't his to share. Exactly. I think she knows a lot as to where they come from, how they work, maybe even a little bit of why they're here. But as for the source of it all and how to fix it completely, he just kind of gives a shrug.
Well, hopefully we find something soon.
Here's hoping. Those few battles we've had with these distortions have been intense, to say the least. Not to mention, the last time we tackled them as a group, they had started mimicking almost everyone across some of the different teams. Or so it seems.
I heard about that. Strange things they are. I think we'll figure something out.
More fluff.
9 fluff. Is that a new profile for somebody that we already know, or is that somebody new?
Someone new.
Okay. I was just confirming whether or not.
The Ninetales comes over and asks Emily, "Hey, can I get a glass of wine, please?" She's sort of nods and goes back to fill up a glass of wine, then brings it back out. Here you go, and that'll be $2.50. Here you go. And she gives a low bow before taking the glass in one of her tails and stepping off.
Small V wave.
I wonder if Reuben knows him.
As she passes by the other group, she gives a passing glance to Padrock before going back to the lake.
Padrock will glance back at her, giving her a small waves as he seems to be noticed.
She gives a little smile and walks on by and do me a favor and roll a cult.
Absolutely. It's around average for us.
So, Paddock can sense something off about her as she passes by him, like a light wave of not really unease, but something strange.
As he notices that, he'll push away his empty glass. Yeah, I'll be back in a moment.
Is everything alright?
Lacey Alice's ears twitch
Call it
when Padrock goes off, and she sort of looks over at the other Ninetales before turning back to her little conversation with Moria and Artemis.
In response to a Luby, he'll say, call it a sense.
The Ninetales down here is just sitting by the lake, slowly drinking her wine and looking into the water.
As he approaches, he'll, good day.
Oh, hey there, dear. What can I do for you?
I couldn't help but notice a little something as you were passing by. You wouldn't happen to have any sort of special magic, would you?
Oh, magic. That's a difficult one. Well, I'm not like your little Glacian friend over there. I don't have that kind of magic.
I swear I felt something.
She gives a smile to him and takes another sip of her drink, and he can feel another slight wave across him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, now there's definitely something there. What is that?
Oh, well, I suppose that's me trying to see what I can... It's complicated.
Yeah, so you're a seer.
Was it that obvious?
Well, the description made it quite clear.
She gives you a little smile and sets her glass down by onto the side, and she's like, well, I can tell that you're trying to become one too.
Well, I am foretold to be the next great seer of Cassia, he says with a
Gives a little giggle at that.
deep conviction.
She just gives a little giggle at that and sort of shakes her head. Well, not the kind of title I would have given, but whatever suits you.
Yeah. Yeah, one that was not one I chose either, but it's what I got used to being referred to as.
Trying to be like Ultros, huh?
Yes, me exactly. He'll do like whatever the quadruped equivalent of finger guns is.
Well,
2 toes.
mine's sort of different, you see. It's not exactly the way, well, seers here do things.
Music change.
She takes a slow breath and looks into the water, and she's like, so I suppose I'll tell you about myself, since you're so curious. I came from a place called Lyethar. Never heard of it.
Would he have?
Nope.
Okay, like he'll honestly give his head a small shake. Sorry, that one doesn't ring a bell.
She smiles and nods, and she's like, I wouldn't expect you have. Such a place doesn't exist here.
Ah, did you come with Glacie then?
You could say. But to simplify a very complicated idea, Lyetharans all have unique abilities that are specific to themselves. You see Fierme and Lucio down back there? She sort of nods her head back to them.
He'll nod.
They have their own abilities. Mine? Well, it's clairvoyance. She looks back into the water and gives a little sigh. Yet, it doesn't seem to fully work here. Perhaps it's the instability of time clouding my vision. Who knows?
Is it maybe just not compatible with this world?
I wouldn't know. I can still see some things, like, for instance, when I pass by some people, I can see certain things about them, but I can't always see everything, not like I used to. She lies down and seems to be mulling it over a little bit. She's like, you know, I once foresaw a rock falling into a world, and an Evian Cyndaquil stopped it. I once foresaw the universe torn to shreds by the very thing that created it, and its people stopped it. But I can't see anything significant here. The idea of not knowing is daunting, you know? That I'm blind to the terror of the future makes me realize I was blind to the beauty of today. It's a strange feeling.
I still not quite level of insight, but I at least can understand the sentiment of being blind to today. It's been amazing what I've seen since I left home.
When you've been looking so far ahead, you sort of miss the things that are happening around you. Perhaps you should remember that.
I guess. He'll glance over as he hears Leela approaching.
Oh,
Huh.
hey.
Hey,
sorry.
Leela.
I didn't mean to barge in, just sort of heard things you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's an odd one. A seer and Ninetales. Never could have imagined something like that would be there.
I'm sorry, I forgot to ask your name.
She looks over at him and gives a nod, and she's like, "My name is Fiercina."
Out of character, did you say Fiercina?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Fiercina. I'm out of character. I've forgotten. Has she said his name in this conversation?
No.
All right. Nice to meet you, Fiercina. I'm Padrock.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. It's neat to meet a clairvoyant like yourself. Probably quite a bit I can learn.
Well, perhaps perhaps someday you'll get there. Leela just sort of walks around and sits near Padrock. Rather, Anno, I suppose.
He'll take a seat next to her.
She gives a slight nudge at him, and she's like, "Oh, met another seer, huh?"
Yep.
Well, I'm sure you'll get there.
Say, he glanced around. Do you think now would be a good time to go see the garden? Giving her a small wink.
Oh, yeah, sure, why not? She looks over at her team back there and gives a little nod to him, and Daniel just sort of gives a knowing smirk before she huffs and then just kind of rolls her eyes, and she looks over at the Ninetales and she's like, "Well, it's nice to meet you over there." Christina just gives a little nod and grabs her glass of wine with her tail again, waves the two off with her other tail.
Padrock will wave back with his tail. Was there over there? Over there.
The two wander off. Meanwhile, back up at the tavern.
And off they go.
I was wondering when they would go ahead and do it soon.
No point in rushing it. Still, town's been interesting for me. Just thinking back and reflecting.
Well, it certainly has been an interesting day today, too.
Yeah. Learning all sorts of things, both just from watching and, well, being lectured, but I suppose that part's nothing new.
And she sets her paw up on the table and kind of looks off and thought, still, I've known Christina for a little bit, but she kind of reminds me of things about the distortions here and time making it difficult to see things. So, it's worth noting that time here moves a lot faster than it does in my timeline. A minute there could be several hours here, and...
Oh, if that isn't the most whiplash moment I could ever think of.
But if we
You ever
stayed...
have those moments?
Hmm.
Where you feel like it's been a lot longer than 10 minutes, or it's been a lot faster than what you were intending for it? You get so busy on something, and then before you know it, an hour has passed.
Well, time's hopped into one's perception, but in this case, it's real. If we stayed there and did nothing, then after a year, several hundred would have passed in this timeline, and it would have been in ruins, or worse.
Let's not say we did.
And despite me being here for nearly 200 years, it's only been some months where I'm from. I can feel whenever time speeds up or slows down here. It's like a wave that made me dizzy for a while, but I've gotten used to it now. She sort of circles her paw on the tail and continues looking in thought, and she's like, all of you can't feel it because you're part of it, but to those sensitive to temporal irregularities, it's very apparent. When I first came here, I almost passed out.
So you felt like you were being swept away with the waves.
Or it made me so dizzy that I couldn't stand.
Lacey, I have a question.
Yeah?
Given the distortions and their presence here, I understand that, well, if they gather around, they distort things, but do you feel them? As in, like, if you were to go, say, in the dungeon we found you at, was time still going at that same accelerated pace, or did it do something weird?
Well, time in this world is always jumping around back and forth in pace. The dungeon felt a little bit like it was moving faster. I'm sure when you were there, it didn't feel like much had passed, did it?
No, a little more than a few hours.
But then when you came back here, it was night.
He does raise a point. It didn't feel like we were in there very long, yet it was already nighttime by the time we got out.
I attributed that to just perception.
We were at the crest of the wave, just as it was getting evened out.
I guess I should try and be more perceptive with things like that.
She sits back down and looks over at Moria, giving her a slight nuzzle. You here, Eddie?
Though speaking of times, wasn't there a rumor that he points towards Eden, towards the north? Wasn't there a rumor that he was a time traveler?
She sort of makes a little snort, and she like, little device he made.
Wait, that wasn't a rumor?
I think at that, Eaton would sort of like, where did you hear about that?
I mean,
I don't.
A number of people have talked about it. Your little time-space stone? Yeah. It's not a huge secret.
Oh.
He made what?
Well,
Oh, God.
I think more he found a way to make something that he didn't understand.
Look, it was just... I thought it would be faster if by traveling by airships, we could just shorten the distance they had to travel.
And
didn't account for the time distortion that would cause.
And then you sent Apollo back in time. Over 100 years. Yeah, a bit of a mistake, and I had to fix it. But
Surely you've learned not to mess with things you don't understand now, right?
I've learned to put plexiglass between myself and it.
well,
So, gone are the days when you have Apollo standing in between you and whatever's about to blow up.
Sorry, I had to step out for a second to use restroom.
Welcome back.
man, Glace now is
And
just,
the Delphox would roll his eyes at that.
Glace
Didn't
now
do
is just,
that much.
she sort of gives a little nuzzle to Moria as she's sitting down.
Moria noses in and just sort of rests her chin against Glazy's head.
You two look adorable when you do that.
Sort of spits her tongue at Apollo.
What? It's the truth.
Apollo, weren't you just in between and blending in, so to speak?
I was. Doesn't mean I can't call a spade a spade.
And she closes her eyes and makes a low, long sigh. I do often miss the rest of my family. My other sister, Christina, my brothers, Hector and Flero, and everyone else. I often wonder how they're doing after all this time. But to them, it's like I've only been gone a little while. I can't go back and visit. Every moment can be disastrous until things are fixed here. Yeah,
I suppose that
All this while we're all of this while we're still trying to rebuild and recover after Eternatus. Even after all these years, we've made amazing progress, but Cassia still isn't back to what it used to be.
it's gonna be a while.
Speaking of which, Rain, how many times has E10 gotten into an experiment that he didn't understand what he was doing in?
I have it written down somewhere, but I couldn't give you a number off the top of my head. I'm
Hey
sure
now,
it's at least in the double digits.
those experiments with Reuben's were Reuben's experiments. I was just helping him.
Uh-huh.
Are we sure that you're not a mad scientist?
Well,
Wait,
you,
keep the impression that I'm not.
So you admit it.
you accomplished something at least. The teleport pads, they're coming along fairly well, I've heard.
Oh, I'd put that on. I'd give Reuben the credit for that. My accomplishments are, just at the airships. I'm happy to let Reuben have the credit for the teleporters. Brilliant young mind he is.
I did, excuse me. I did hear that he's already working on trying to expand on that even more than what you see here. After we get the teleporter set up for going from town to town, he wants to do something on the smaller scale to help rescue teams. I'm not sure what it is yet. Though I'm not sure if that makes me more curious or more concerned.
Why not
Is it-
both?
Is it really a big issue to not just put bigger fans on it or whatever?
I would
bigger
bigger-
fans means that you need a bigger hole. Bigger hole means you need bigger fans, so on, and so on.
See, I would answer that question, but while I may be a guild master, I'm not a physicist.
Well, neither am I. I don't even know what physics are. Most of the time.
What I do know is up, down is down, and you ask the people that actually know what they're doing, most of the time, to figure that stuff out. If they say it ain't gonna happen, leave it alone.
Well, so long as things don't go all screwy with time and everything, then hopefully these teleporters should help us maybe stop this.
There is
That
a
or at
reason
least, that or at least react quicker to it.
from Rain. There is a reason why. There is someone that you know, Glacy, that I have not asked. Given their knowledge of technology is leaps and bounds ahead of ours.
Well, I'm sure if you asked Jeremy and Musho, they would have a field day with this.
You say that as in they'll help us out, or they'll insult us until they get it done for not matching their intelligence.
Who knows? The technology in my world is definitely far ahead of this, but the kind of technology that's here, well, they found quite a bit of interest in it.
I almost wonder if this person that you're speaking of is treating everybody as being below them for not being as intelligent, and you showed him the technology of your world, what would he react like? Would he be insulted? Would he be envious?
She just sort of points her tail down at the Absol and me and Shao down by the fire.
Yeah, Levi does the same thing, just quietly points towards them. And from Rain, they're actually quite amicable.
They're quite a pair. Jeremy's my niece after all, and Lucia's my son.
I see. Well, I guess that's more middle ground than it was than I was expecting.
Well, you get used to them after a while.
Besides, I'd imagine we'd see all sorts of things happening here if they cut loose with the kind of technology they may know of.
Yeah, it could be pretty disruptive.
Quite.
Next thing you know, they would have discovered how to put Pokemon moves into an electronic device and use it that way.
I
mean
mean,
like
like
a
a
Aren't those called
TM.
TMs?
I don't mean like TMs. I mean using it as if it was its own projectile.
Items that... Huh.
Well, some items can do that. Just have to find them. They're fairly far and few between.
Glacialis, I was kidding.
She's
Items
gives a little left at him.
He to aside.
From Rain to takes one thing, but that's not out of the real possibility.
That one's on the back burner. Get to that eventually.
Oh, don't tell me. This is an actual thing.
Congratulations, Elevie. You've inspired him.
You just hear this resounding as he just thunks his head on the table.
You've done this to yourself.
She sort of looks back to her paw on the table again and it's kind of funny. Speaking of these temporal distortions and whatnot interfering with our technology, I've been kind of wondering about the distortions we've been facing. Despite them being, well, in the literal sense, chaotic, there's some sense of order to them. You'd expect they'd just be incomprehensible blobs that just do a whole bunch of nonsense, but they have forms, they attack, move, dodge, like living beings do. It's almost as if they could think, even if they can't. She lets out a deep sigh and chaos in its purest state isn't anything we can possibly understand. But these mirrored reflections, they take after what's in this world and seem to learn from it, as if trying to replace it.
And why didn't they try to copy me?
Who knows? But they're not quite what we had in my timeline. Similar, but no. There seems to be some ulterior motive somehow. I don't quite understand it yet.
Ulterior motive from Rain, excuse me. Ulterior motives means there's someone controlling them. Someone controlling them means we can stop it that much easier. However, we go after the... Oh.
Speaking of things being controlled, have you discovered any leads on ZRD then?
We haven't quite yet, unfortunately.
Well, I guess the fact of not seeing it is a good thing in this case.
Indeed.
But speaking of that, you said that the... Well, what Pokemon was it that you faced?
It was a... If I recall right, it was a Purloin?
Oh, yeah.
Or was it a Glameow?
Glameow, I think.
It was the Glameow.
She's... flexes her paw digits over the table and she's like, you did say that he mentioned trying to figure out how to use these things, right?
That's correct.
Kind of reminds me of the Black Clan from my place, my timeline.
Oh, wonderful.
They're long gone, you don't have to deal with them, but...
You say that, and yet there's a possibility that they could just come back and you wouldn't know it.
Highly doubt it, but...
Well, with everyone trying to make a comeback these days, it's not exactly out of the question.
But if these zealots are actually back and they're trying to figure out how to control these distortions, they may be way in over their heads. Because chaos is a force that's well beyond anything in this universe. You can't control it. And if you try, it just...
Lashes out?
It can destroy you. And anything around you.
I wonder why people bother using metronome so much.
Artemis visually shudders.
Pretty
You gotta
sure.
admit, the time that you saw metronome used, well, in recent-ish memory, kind of saved you guys, didn't it?
Artie just rubs his temples. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not thinking about it.
And more Sass sneezes. Yeah. Like, trying to control what literally created the entire universe is just silly. You'd have to be stupid beyond imagination to think you can use something like that.
So you're saying it would be dumb luck if they ever managed to do it?
I wouldn't call it luck. Because chaos will always find a way to come back and turn around on you. Using these distortions is the last thing we need them trying to do.
So would it be similar in what happened with Eternatus or whatever happened in that timeline?
Eternatus, at least in my timeline, was an alien being who came like 20,000 years before. From what I hear and have read in books here, 60 years ago wasn't the first time Eternatus showed up. I read something about an event 3,000 years ago in the old city when people were trying to use Eternatus' power.
Let me guess, he turned on them.
Well, Eternatus itself wasn't present, but among many other legendary beings, Eternatus was one of them. And the idea that people would try and do that is very concerning. More so the idea that people might try and do it again.
Once a fool, always a fool, I guess.
But we can just hope that we don't have to deal with something like that again.
I have a question.
Hmm?
What is the likelihood that we can probably trap one of these distortions that maybe we can, well, I don't know, figure out a bit more about where they come from?
In order to do something like that, you'd have to create something that literally bends reality. That could be more dangerous than it would help.
Understood.
The Delphox gets excited for a moment before pouting.
She's kind of glares
And
at him and she's like, no, you already created one distortion. I don't need to fix another.
Hey, I fixed my machine with the help of a pole.
Good. And hopefully Dialga doesn't decide to send any more people back in the past.
Back in the... Wait a moment.
Hmm?
What if... what if whoever is doing... How do I put this in words that doesn't make me sound like a complete lunatic?
He just stares at Levi, looks at Ethan, and then back at Levi again. It's just like, I don't think you're going to be able to cross that threshold.
What is the likelihood that whoever is doing this is from not of this world?
Who can really say? I'm not from this world.
Exactly.
But I would imagine no one from my timeline would do something like this.
Why not?
Because we've been keeping a pretty good eye on those kinds of things.
And what if one of those eyes were blinded?
Then who knows?
Let's see. Well, that's a fun thought. Speaking of fun thoughts, though, Alivi, what are your thoughts on the idea of working with Padrock to make that team attack thing? I know we were unfortunately interrupted before we can actually get anywhere with that, but I'm curious.
Personally, I don't think we're going to be able to do it today. Patrick
Not today. Maybe tomorrow.
Padrock definitely needs his time alone.
I didn't say it was going to be today. I just was curious if you wanted to do it at all.
The thought has crossed my mind several times, yes. Ever since Ruben gave me the idea.
Fair enough. I'm left to wonder myself. Raven did mention that the team attacks do come from a basis of trust. I'm left to wonder just how much trust that may require.
If that's the case, then if I may, I'm not entirely sure that I've been putting my full trust into the entire team at this moment, the time.
I can assure you there are people on this team that I trust more than others. I can say that with a straight face, I can say that without hesitation, and I can say that with honesty.
Glacialis just kind of rolls her eyes and she's like, well, you know, he takes a while to trust others too.
Who's he?
She sort of points her tail over at the Eevee.
Oh, I kind of expected that much.
Except the Eevee is currently in the restroom.
They'll be back soon enough.
Maybe Artie's having the same stomach troubles I was having. Yikes. Everybody seems to be having it today. Even my parents had it.
Whoops. So I can say out of character. I can say more, but do we want to wait for Artie to come back?
Probably.
Let's do that. Let's see.
I can think of something to do, but I didn't want to. Oh, he's back.
There he is.
I'll come back.
Hello.
Glacy, if you had plans to do something, let me know, and we can do it.
Nature.
Hmm?
No, I'm good.
Well, just before you got back, we were pointing out how Castor also seems to have trust issues, and, Oluvi points out, like, yeah, I kind of expected that from him.
Lacey just sort of steps around and lightly pokes at Levi's shoulder.
Levi's like pause and just look straight up. Notice Lizzie. Oh, hi.
Do you mind coming with me?
Sure.
We'll
I'll be
be a
back.
moment.
Lead the way.
Of course.
There is a moment of hesitation on Levi, just like looking around, but ultimately he does follow.
Oluvi just kind of furrows a brow at what just happened, like, okay then.
Make sure the Guildmaster, they do something, it should be a problem, but... Just gonna pass by Lucas and step over their tail if it's moving. Although it's moving.
Do not step on Lucas.
He just doesn't pay much mind and just flicks his tail out of the way.
Right.
Lacey Ellis and her friends work in mysterious ways.
Yes, I just remembered Lucas is the one that's bounded by space, so their spatial awareness must be impeccable.
Don't forget the fact that they literally bend space around them in an 8-foot range.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not exactly the same power.
Vacuum cut would beg to differ.
She sort of sits down by the water.
He paused at a decent distance curiously before taking a moment and just move that much closer and sit.
No. You said your name was Levi, yes?
Oh, Leviticus. But yes. I just go by Levi. Makes it easy for everybody else around me, though.
Not a name you hear off?
No. No, it isn't.
That aside, you've been part of a rescue team for a while, at least a couple weeks now, haven't you?
As I said to the others earlier, it's by happenstance, just a chance that I end up doing this, but yeah.
And what have you learned from that team? What are your thoughts about what you've seen?
I've learned... I'll be honest, I've learned that I don't know a lot. You get so used to seeing the world a certain way that once someone decides to come around and show you things aren't the way you thought, suddenly things aren't so clear anymore. what may make sense and what doesn't suddenly becomes a lot more blurred. Then you're just left with, well, you're wondering what happens next.
Well, it sort of comes with a job. But I believe that the things you figure out will benefit you long term. I've seen the way you act and talk around your teammates, and let's just say I've seen the type before.
The type?
People who aren't trusting, people who don't really understand why they're there. They're just sort of there, whether by their choice or not.
Along for the ride and waiting for whatever comes next to be something they don't like or something they do. They just... Right, I guess it is me, isn't it?
Well, when you've been in the field for a long time, you start learning things, and oftentimes, even when you've been around for years or even decades, you learn things that you might be surprised about.
The world never stops amazing you, huh?
The guild that I run in the biggest town wasn't around like 30 years ago. When the new masters started raiding Cassia, raiding the cities, and dismantling all the guilds, a lot of us had to go into hiding. Rescue teams and anyone who supported them. And it did take a while for us to really get our footing again when the new masters were taken down. But even now, there's still some things that pop up that we don't expect.
Everyone's worried about the name. Well, everybody's worried about what happens to distortions. That or they're worried about the virus. Me, I'm more worried about, where it came from. Not to mention the little things.
Little things can add up to something big that might give you an answer.
Yeah, and I've been worried that we're focused on on too many big things, that we never stop to look at the little things. Like, hey, there's probably someone's son still stuck in a dungeon somewhere. We can probably go help him out and learn something along the way. But that's just a thought that occurred to me every now and then. And unrelated to what you've asked, I realize. Sorry.
Well, you seem like a fairly decent person, but you also seem very conflicted with things.
Like I said before, I'm just someone looking to improve themselves. Take another chance and see where life goes from there.
Well, hopefully life takes you somewhere where you can be the best of yourself.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That or die trying.
Hopefully the former.
Excuse me. Though right now, it's been recently brought up, I still need to figure out. I'm sure the guild masters told to you about what happened with the whole poster thing and my face hitting. I mean, you run a guild. You probably saw the poster too.
I did, and to be frank, I thought it was immediately rubbish because I know most of the people in Senecal, and they're not The kinds who would just let someone slip in, take something, and slip out. The 5 villages in general aren't. Granted, Noir didn't last for very long.
Right. Right. Still, I've been doing what I can to stay out of trouble. I'm hoping to keep it that way.
No,
Even
I
if
hope
even if I have my difficulties with the team every now and then, it's... What's the phrase? Growing pains?
you could just something like that.
Yeah, I don't know sometimes.
But,
I didn't expect it. Oh, good.
oh, you can go on.
Not gonna lie, I didn't expect to just have this conversation, the chance to sit and talk with a guild master of all things, but
You speak as though you have a lot of praise for me.
I mean, I'd imagine if someone would, like, I don't know, I have a hard time not seeing a guild master as someone, like, way above, having all these accolades, done all this stuff, but nah, think about it, even the same thing with Team New Dawn, it's just, y'all are just as normal as the rest of us.
Everyone is just someone trying to survive. It's the most we can do, and how we do it is something we pick ourselves.
No. Y'all don't survive. Y'all live. It's something I'm still trying to learn how to do myself.
Some do, some don't. But I shouldn't keep you too long. Your team's probably curious where you've gone off to.
Yeah, probably.
And let's just say people don't see my kind in the brightest of lights sometimes.
That's so. Why would that be?
Oh, it's just certain rumors that have been going on about Solanda and Salazzle. I won't talk too much about that.
It's probably nothing to worry about.
I can promise you, though, even though the town that I run is full of Salandit, they're not quite like the one over at that coffee shop over there.
I would be concerned if they were.
Don't look at him and think that we're all like that. I assure you we are not.
Got it. Because that... I'm sure he means well, but... He creeps me out.
But you should head back.
Alright. Thank you, Guildmaster...
Lizzie.
Thank you. Thank you, Guildmaster Lizzie. Lizzie.
She gives a she gives a bow of her head and smiles before sitting down and looking into the water.
And with that, Levi would head back.
Walks by Coffee's landed shot. Heard you talking smack.
Speaking of which,
Hey everyone, welcome to Coffee Solanda. But Solanda just hops up on the table.
Levi run. Levi run.
The three here are just exasperated about what's going on and looking at the Solanda in concern and strange curiosity. He looks over at the Pikachu spotting him. He's like, "Hey, Levi, would you like a cup of coffee?"
Spotted.
Are you quiet?
Levi actually takes a moment to think about that for a bit. It's like, you know what? I didn't do it last time. Sure.
All right, and that'll be 200 Poke.
Just checking the account real fast, make sure I actually have enough to pay for the tunnel. Okay, we're good. Just quietly walks over and just sets it down. Careful, is like hesitantly setting it down, like as though he's about to bite his hand off before backing up.
He just slaps his paw down on the Poke and grabs it and looks over and is like, "How about you, Corvio, Tessera, Varus? Would you like a cup of coffee?" And the three just kind of blink in confusion. "How do you know my name?" "Oh, I know everyone's names." Just... The Servine just kind of fidgets or pause. It's like, coffee? Yeah, it'll be 200 Poke. She's kind of looks between the other two back here, and she's like, I think I'll pass this time.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And what about you, Donovan? Would you like a cup of coffee?
You know me. I am grumpy faced without my coffee. Excuse me, coming through.
Oh. That was sort of mean. The two over here, you step back. Well, that'll be 200 Poke, please.
Donovan just slaps the Poke down on the counter. There you go.
He snatches it up and jumps back onto the counter and starts working up some coffee and everything before running over and setting down 2 cups of coffee. One over here and one right here.
Part of this good breakfast. Take my advice. Get used to drinking this stuff. You'll thank me later if you're an actual rescue team that wants to do anything out there.
Everyone knows coffee's the best for you.
I don't know about that. But I do live off this stuff.
He's served as a spin on the counter. Alright, and if that's everyone, then ta-ta!
Huh?
Is Coffee Slade turning people into addicts? That's what it sounded like.
You will love my coffee.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Alright.
So with that, Levi now has a cup of coffee. And the
Levi
team
just
over
stares at the
here
coffee
is just dumbfounded about what happened.
Levi just stares at the coffee, then looks over to the other team, just looks back at the coffee, then the other team, and just shrugs like, I don't know.
That was weird. The Mew just sort of
Very.
floats over and paws at the shutter after it closed. And... Is he really back there? Does he live back there?
I never seen him leave.
It's so strange.
Which, oh, speaking of strange, what is a Mew doing in here? Well, in town.
Oh, my name is Virus. I'm part of the expedition team Lithos.
Lithos? Ziphos. Wait,
Yeah.
you said exploration team, not a
Expedition team.
expedition team.
Yeah,
What's an
we came from the Expedition Society.
What's... Wait. You mean the place over in Humbletown?
Oh, no, not that place. She sort of looks around and glances over at the table up north and points at Glacialis.
Oh, you're one of Glaze's friends. Got it.
Well, more Fiermays, but yeah, Glacy. You know her more.
Got it. I mean, I've been trying to get to know Fierme and Lucio a bit. I want to spar with them, or at least get stronger working with them.
Well, we've seen Fierme in action. She's quite tough.
I believe it. But I'm gonna figure out what to do with this coffee.
You're
And-
supposed to drink it, Sparky.
Duwat just kind of shifts uncomfortably next to the Obstagoon.
Don't worry, I don't have lice.
I mean, I'm a little more concerned about what you might have, but that's... never mind.
If you got something to say, just say it.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Leo just looks to Donovan, looks at the coffee, sniffs the coffee. It's like, he didn't put something weird in this, right? Like some rope or something?
No.
God, not that again.
That's a lunch.
Next thing you
I'm
know,
sorry, I had to bring it up.
I mean, next thing you know,
It
it's
was
a
perfect.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna just go sit down too. Enjoy this. Yes, that. I'll be back. Just gonna go.
So weird.
Oh god. Just away.
way away.
Blaze, are you tell?
Huh?
Go ahead.
People just still carrying the cup, sniffing at it, just sets it on the table. Like, I shouldn't be thinking about this this hard.
Oh, you went over the coffee Salandit.
No, I didn't. He called me out.
Luffy just kind of peers to his side, like, not acknowledging it. Not acknowledging it. I'm not going to acknowledge it.
Don't. Artie perks up. Trust me. Just accept it. Don't question it. He's probably more mysterious than Glacialis. I know that sounds insane. It's
Every time that shutter closes, I feel something weird going on back there.
Yeah. Leaves if it makes sure Donovan's on his A game whenever he goes out on a mission or something like that. I'm not complaining.
Well, he does like his coffee pure and black.
Probably like his soul.
I don't know about that.
Don't tell him that.
Oh, he'd
I'll
probably
tell him
laugh.
what. Paul says, looking over at Glacy with a knowing glance.
Kinda
Wait,
sticks the
Artie, you
tongue
said
out at him.
something. Artie, what'd you say?
I said he'd probably laugh.
That's it. I'm gonna go to Jericho for a moment to, see if this is actually safe. I don't trust it.
Believe me, it's as safe as can be, even if the person who made it is a wacko.
Fun. I guess I can at least try it.
Hope you like bitter things.
And just out of history, I'm gonna at least do this. And straight.
Yeah.
Double checking, it was -2, yeah? After we upgraded it?
If you completely upgraded it as it's supposed to be right now, it's 1d4 times 10 is the percentage
I'm
of health
actually
you is
bring
the
it up.
percentage of health that you get, and you also get the pumped up status.
I'm gonna bring up the description,
Go for it.
because it's actually slightly different.
You know, speaking of foods and their particular type of, likes, bitter food, as you mentioned earlier. I literally just went back to the sheet, and I was like, right, I set Luffy as a quiet nature. He likes dry flavors.
What even is dry?
Vodka martini, shaken not stirred.
Dry flavors are things like crackers.
Lucas comes over and there's a battle Emmy and Esther and Aaron is like, may I get a glass of water, please? And he nods to him and grabs a glass, sips it over by him, and my throat is fucking up.
In or out of character?
Out of character. But he gives a bow to her and passing glance to Castor and Aaron before stepping off. Gives a nod to the people over here.
Levi would give a friendly wave back.
Was he balancing his drink on his nose or something?
Yep.
And his disliked flavor is sweet. So he likes dry, but doesn't like sweet.
Either way, Levi, he's not going to drink it. He's just getting a feel for it. Oh, God.
Wow, you just rolled straight maximum on that. Jeez.
Simpson's like, holy shit, this is good.
I'm gonna let you enjoy that. I need to do something.
Relax. I'm not gonna wait. Nope. I can already feel it. I'm gonna sit this down. Nope. I'm not doing this. I do not want to start talking as fast as Andre.
Like, oh no, he's becoming.
Oh, it's not really that bad. It makes for good conversations.
I mean, I get that, but oh God, I'm already starting up.
He just keeps up with Andre's conversation somehow.
Well, he's an electric type. I can just imagine those two going off with each other at an electric type speed conversation.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm gonna be back.
Do you mind if I sit with you for a little moment?
Oh yeah, sure, go ahead.
Levi drank the coffee.
I noticed.
He's starting to get to be somewhat like someone else we know, and it's a little disconcerting.
I wouldn't worry too much. What brings you over here, Louis?
Oh, just... I guess it's been a while since we've spoken. Directly, one-to-one. Well, not counting... What was his name again? Was it Felis? Yeah, Felis. Not counting Felis, of course.
Yes.
Speaking of which, Felis, I never did know if you've been alright the past few days. You've not spoken to us since that day.
Oh yeah, I've been pretty busy lately.
I'm guessing alongside Lucas.
Lucas, Winsilla, Glacialis. Everyone.
Well, I hope it's not been taking its toll on you.
Trust me, I've lived long enough to know how to be careful about these things.
One of the rare few that never became a Zoroark, huh?
Well, let's just say I have a sort of condition that keeps me from evolving.
Have you ever had it looked at any point?
I don't think any doctors would be able to figure something like this out.
I see. Well, it was worth a question, worth an ask. That said, I honestly don't really know what I was going to ask you now, Lucas. I think I got sidetracked.
Well, whatever's on your mind, go ahead.
You mentioned that only those who were from not around here would be capable of doing what you did before.
Spiritual
That was
magic, yes.
That was something you mentioned before. Well, Patrick kind of keyed us into something a little strange that I thought was strange as well when you and Glacialis were out in that foggy forest. Do you remember how many distortions there were?
At Placid Lake?
Yes. Do you remember which, all the species that were there, yes?
After fighting so many distortions in so many years, you kind of don't pay attention to what they are anymore.
Well, Patrick kind of pointed something out that was a little interesting. Each of those distortions were people we've met. Or were one of ourselves, which, in the case of Patrick, there was indeed a Fennekin there, but there was only one.
Well, like Glacialis said, as far as we know, distortions haven't taken on type-changed forms.
Well, that's what concerns me about it, is that even if they don't, wouldn't they have still made a similar image of it, even if it wasn't type-changed?
They may have. You fought more than one Fennekin, didn't you?
Well, there was the one that was before, but that one was with a Rockruff, which we then met again as we found you two.
Perhaps that Fennekin that you met again was based on you.
But that doesn't make sense. Why would it be with a Rockruff in that regard?
Who really knows?
Those very same projections reappeared when we found you. As if they had just went elsewhere after being removed.
Chaos manifests in unusual ways, and you never know what it might do. It may take on a form, it may repeat said form, who really even knows?
But it got me thinking, if what we were seeing actually true, it just brings up the question of, do I really seem to be unable to be replicated by those? Strange. But this ties into what I was asking before. There's another way of doing this particular healing, yes?
The healing that I did on Castor?
Well, not the exact same one, but something that does a similar effect, perhaps. Do you think that's possible?
Well, in the case of any form of magic, I wouldn't say that you'd be capable of it, but in terms of medical treatment, there are many ways you can do it. I've studied it for 600 years.
So you're saying that there could be a chance then? For real this time?
Possibly. And
would
Zane over there would know better than any of us what kinds of, well, earthly magic can be done.
Well, I'm most practiced in natural medicines. I figured I could probably start there.
That is always the best place. Before I got my magic, I was a cleric in colony that I used to live in.
So, do you think that there would be a chance that you probably could teach me a similar trick then? While not using the magic, of course, it would be possibly a different method?
Like I said, there are many ways to apply healing. You just have to find the one that works best for you and is most efficient.
And you mentioned a lane?
A what?
You mentioned lane?
Zane,
Oh, Zane.
the Zorak.
Yeah. I thought you said lane the first time. Because it actually did sound like you said that. So you mean that Zane would possibly know more about natural magic? Or, well,
It's a
natural
possibility.
magic.
Natural magic, but he and I have taken our lives to learning all kinds of ways to apply medicine.
Well, like, how do I say this? I feel like I could potentially do something similar to it, it's just I don't know how to go about it.
Hmm.
Have you ever had that, like, inkling of a feeling inside of you that you just don't know how to describe? You know it's there, but you don't know how to bring it out.
Occasionally.
Maybe it's time I find a tutor.
Well, I did spend a lot of time as a scholar, and I have taught many people. Perhaps someday I'll teach you things.
Do you have a particular time you want to do that then?
With everything that's going on, I can't say when it might happen, but I'm sure we'll find some time.
Understandable. Just... I don't want to be in one of those situations where I'm unable to do anything when I could have done something.
Hmm. Well, there's always going to be that time when you're in a rescue team. There's always going to be situations where you may not be able to do everything. You are but one person. Can't miss myself. But what we do when we can. And we make the best of it.
It's about that moment that Alubi just kind of stares into the fire. Just for a moment. Like he's got a lot on his mind.
Lucas just kind of sits up and slowly waves his tail behind himself, and it's like, it's a lot to think about, I know.
Well... perhaps this will possibly be a lesson in life then, huh?
Suppose we'll see. Just sort of creeps over behind Alabi and pokes him firmly on the back.
Felis, what are you doing?
He just sort of snickers up here before casting the image away.
If I had not known that you could do that before, it probably would have spooked me a little more.
Sorry, you just looked a little too pensive. So, I had to break you out of it, you know?
Was I being... yeah, right. I may
Luke-
need to.
Lucas just sort of shakes her head with a small toothy grin. He's like, when you live as long as we have, you tend to take things a little less seriously.
Well, I'm not entirely sure how long rock types tend to live. I know that they can last a long time, but eventually even they erode. It's why I'm trying to do things at a reasonable pace that I believe I'm capable of doing, but you never know. Glacialis probably knows, but of course they keep all that to themselves.
Glacialis may seem secretive, but she does it with a good reason. She won't keep anything from you that would disrupt the task.
Oh no, I'm fully aware of that. It's just... sometimes you might get a little irked by something that you really, really feel like you must know. But she's already shared enough with us that it's really not as bothersome as it would be normally.
Perhaps someday she'll open up a little more.
Well, I'm pretty sure she's opened up a lot. Otherwise she wouldn't have told us everything the night before. But thank you, Felis, Lucas. I believe I know what I need to do. I probably need to clear my head a little bit.
Of course. Take your time.
If only Defog could work on that.
Felix just sort of makes a little snicker as he walks by.
There we are. That was a nice conversation.
So Luvy's just gonna sit by the water for a little bit.
I think it's high time we... I mean, don't worry about what Levi's doing. He's just doing a thing. But I think it's high time we check in on someone we haven't heard from yet.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, up in the garden...
Where's the garden? I don't see where that would be.
It's up in the northwest.
Northwest. Oh, that's something I don't have vision of.
Out of character, that's why I moved Eat into the tables.
Fair.
So, up in the garden, Hadrock and Leela have escaped to their own little sanctuary.
Mm-hmm. As they're sitting there, he'll take a deep breath, forcing down the urge to lie or fib as he turns to Leela. So, how much of that did you hear?
Oh, what about the conversation with that Ninetales?
Yeah.
Well, I heard a fair bit. Something about her not being able to quite see things clearly here, and about you being the next great seer of Cassia. She sort of gives a smile at that.
Oh. Yeah, that.
So what is that all about?
When I was young, my grandma made a prophecy about or had a vision or something on her deathbed. It's the very first memory I actually have. And all I remember of it is her hand pointing directly at me. Apparently I would be destined to have great visions as a Brigson. Something not achieved since the time of the Wayfinders. Since old Charles was the last great seer of Cassia, the village grew to call saying that I would be the next great seer. Because what else could Brigson with such visions have? Grandma spent her whole life with visions. She spent a lot of her life under the thumb of the new masters. Forced to write down the weird weather effects or things that might threaten the plants that we were growing there. Her visions are frighteningly accurate.
I see.
I've grown up with the almanac of her predictions. Almost every one is accurate down to a second. At most, off by a minute. Whether it be some wild Pokemon using a blizzard in the middle of the fields, freak lightning storm. Of course, with being decades past her death, she's missed some events, and, well, the last of her predictions that made it into the book finished off last year.
So, you think that you're supposed to have visions like that?
Grandma was a special case. She was probably accurate because that's what she spent her whole time doing.
Have you seen anything yet?
According to Mom, she pretty much spent those decades in pretty much constant psychic days.
Have you seen anything yet?
I pretended that I did. But just a couple of days ago, when Mystery Dungeon was being closed from forming, I felt dread. Dread that it seems the only other person there that felt it was Apollo. His disaster sense, and apparently my visions. The first actual thing I felt.
Maybe it's starting to develop. Who knows, maybe you'll start getting those powers soon.
Yeah. Won't that be... Padrock's, for the first time, like, in a long time, Padrock struggles to do the smile that he's practiced for so long.
He sort of leans over and gives a nuzzle to his cheek. Come on. You're up.
I don't want to go.
Well, you're part of a rescue team, aren't you?
That's not what you... Sears, don't do that.
Well,
That's...
maybe being part of a rescue team is the next step in getting your powers.
Yeah, but once I do have them...
Once you do have them, maybe you'll be an even greater help to them. Like, just imagine you'll be able to predict things before they even happen, and then you and your team will be there, and you'll be able to stop it.
But... how will I be able to be there when I'm stuck sitting up in shock, waiting for the next person to come by to get their vision read?
Maybe that won't be your job. Perhaps you'll be the wandering seer. She's sort of makes a little giggle, but she seems sincere about it.
He looks baffled like that, as if someone had just asked him why he didn't draw a square circle.
Wait, is it so silly?
It just doesn't... that feels fundamentally wrong. God, I've seen that shop in my dreams so many times. It's... come on. Every time I fall asleep naturally, I see it. I feel myself sitting behind that counter. Just waiting there as the world goes by.
Who knows?
Just
maybe that
feeling
won't
that
be you.
emptiness. The idea of being a seer and not being in a shop, just... I don't understand that.
The cat
Feels like
insists.
It just feels like it'd be being irresponsible. Like I've been given great power, I'm not taking the responsibility that comes with it.
Well, no one can get things done by standing still. And who knows, maybe today will be different and you'll be more used going outside and doing things with your power.
He
Time
kind
to change.
looks at this thing. He sighs. I guess. Honestly, I'm just confused now.
I'm sure you'll get it eventually.
I'm not even sure I want to get it.
But what about you? Is there anything you wanted to know?
Well, I know you didn't want to talk about it earlier, but now that we're around everybody else, I figure as my well ask again, how did you end up on a rescue team yourself?
She sort of lays her ears and looks off at the flowers. It's still a touchy subject. I want to talk about it, but I just can't bring myself to do it right now. Maybe
Hedrock will
sometime.
wrap his tail around her. Well, what can you tell me about yourself?
Well, I did say I'm from Richville, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's... When I was growing up in Richville, it was always pretty lively there. I did hear at some point the new masters had the place under lock, but that was well before I was born. Growing up there and seeing everything, it seems completely different from what I was told before. And I remember there was a time with me and Farah when we used to go on hikes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we just sneak out of home and just go on our little adventures just outside the town. We'd pretend that we were exploring the entire world, but I knew that such a time wouldn't come for some years. But I did always like to pretend that we were going on grand adventures like the rescue teams of old and everything. Just going out and see things, help people out. It was always a lovely dream of mine.
You wanted to go out.
Hmm?
Was it for more than just seeing the world?
Well, there is always the idea of helping others that's there. But how can you help others when you don't know what's out there? How can you help when you're not prepared for what's there? So, the exploration of it was always on mine too.
The world really is a lot more beautiful than those books ever made it out to be. And believe me, they tried.
There's always more out there than we can ever know. That's what Mom used to say. My mom... Huh?
I was gonna ask about your parents. What are they like?
Well, my mom's a midday Lycanroc. She's actually part of her own group. Not like a rescue team, but she's part of this group of other canine Pokemon. What does she call it? The Association of Canines or something like that? It was a silly name, but they seem to take themselves seriously, even if they like to joke around a lot. My dad, well, I never really knew him much. I think the last time I saw my dad was when I was a couple years old, and then he just wasn't around anymore. I don't know what happened.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, you grow up and you just sort of live with what you have. My mom took care of me, and then later I got this team, and now we take care of each other.
I see.
But I'm sure you'll do fine where you are.
I feel so out of water. It's a lot different than spending your days in a small study looking over books you have to translate a couple times over just to understand.
Well, that doesn't seem healthy. She just sort of lifts a paw and nudges him on the side, smiling at him.
So much of my memories of that study.
Well, maybe getting out will be good for you. You'll, well, at least you'll get some fresh air, and who knows, maybe you'll make some good friends.
Honestly, the whole reason I jumped on this was just wanted to get away. I just wanted to see the world.
Like me, right?
I don't know. Combat is miserable. How do you manage to enjoy it so much?
It's less that I enjoy the combat and more that I enjoy the experience of being able to learn something, being able to, you know, see what my partner has and what everyone else has. Plus, when I do that and then things happen, well, it won't be so miserable. I never did like fighting for real, but what comes from it when you do rescues and when you find places, it's always tends to make it worth it.
He pauses for a bit of thought. I still not sure what to make of all this.
It takes time, and being a recluse like you said that you were, it takes a lot of getting used to the things that are out in the world. Me, I grew up in the world, so I'm pretty well versed in it, but I can understand how someone who's spent most of their time holed up in a room, it would take a while.
Yeah. I don't tell people about this, but I've only spent about, what was it, a decade or so being holed up there. It's when I learned to lie that I started managing to get out. No, it's a long story.
Well, you don't have to talk about it if it makes you uncomfortable.
And again, it's how I got dragged out into the middle woods where I needed to rescue myself.
Well, if we ever find Team Darkstorm, we'll give them a whomping just for you.
With that, I'll give Leela a small kiss on the cheek.
Aww.
It's adorable.
Sure smiles and her ears flatten a bit before she licks his cheek back.
He beams at that.
Mutual affection.
She sort of looks at the flowers and wags her tail as she's sitting there with him.
So do you feel... So do you feel a connection with this place?
Well, I used to come here all the time when I was living in Ripsville, so...
It is a beautiful spot.
It is. And I remember when Sunrose was setting this place up, I would come here all the time, just sit and look at the flowers. They were always so... well, they inspired me a lot.
Was this before your type change?
Well, my type change was actually when I was fairly young.
Right. Around Cassia Town, if I recall.
Yeah, if I remember, I had taken a drink of some water near Cassia, and then this happened.
I must say, you wear it very well.
Well, thank you.
Out of character, just trying to think of what else you could mention here.
And
Have you asked them what they would? Have you asked them what they plan on evolving to? Perhaps.
Oh, that's a good question. Thank you very much. Yes. Oh yeah, Pharaoh's turn. Well, I guess turning your future. You mentioned your mom was a midday?
Yeah, midday Lycanroc.
What do you think you'd like to be?
Oh, I don't know. I never really thought much about what I was gonna become. I just feel like I might just let it come when it happens, and then go from there.
Parrock will give a small nod.
But you'll become a Delphox, right? At some point?
I'll have to go through Braixen first.
Well, at least you'll be able to plan for it. Who knows what
I'm
the
looking forward to having hands.
Who knows what the circumstances in mine will be. I kind of like to just... It's exciting not knowing. But it'll come eventually.
You know, For all the hesitations I felt about my powers. I kind of wish I could get a sneak peek, but you'll be. He says, giving her a bit of a wink.
She kind of smiles and nudges her nose at his shoulder. Well, that would just be spoiling it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but it'll be beautiful.
Kind of flushes her head and looks away.
A rosy lichen rock. No, lichen rose.
Bruh.
The closest thing to a rose would be a midnight.
She
That's a thought.
sort of perks up and looks up at the sky. Oh. Looks like the sun's starting to set, isn't it?
Is a good spot to watch the fireworks from?
Well, we don't quite know what they're gonna do about them yet, so it might be best to go back to them and see what the plan is. I've never really spent any time during these celebrations, so I don't know how they do this.
Yeah, my home village is very, very, very small. So we've celebrated this holiday, but just not had the supplies to do anything big like fireworks.
Well, I guess it'll be an experience for both of us, won't it? You wanna go back now?
He'll nuzzle her neck close to where the vines come from. Absolutely.
She lets the vine come out and lightly tap at his nose before standing up. Let's go.
He'll give this vine a small kiss.
A little lick.
Absolutely.
Maybe a little pinch.
You two are precious.
You really are.
Out of character, I'm glad to hear that. As he comes back, he is just beaming ear to ear. His day, status made.
Meanwhile, Apollo up here,
He's just
sitting on the
vibing.
hill.
Just picture Apollo just perched up on the hillside in the shadow of the tree where Apollo is buried. And he's got his arms tucked under him. He's in perfect absolute loaf position right now. He's just letting the wind gently tousle his floof. That's what he's up to right now. Nothing more.
So, with that, we can actually transition to the night map, unless there's anything else that people want to do.
No,
I do.
pretty much.
I'm good.
I do.
Levi
You
has
do?
something.
Nope.
He's gonna torture poor Jericho. Is what he's gonna do.
What? No. He gave the drink to Jericho, and after that, he no longer has the coffee. But no, instead, it's going to be a small thing between, well, these two. So they're going to make a quick walk. Well, by quick, I mean a lengthy one. Oh, the office is closed. That's all right.
I can actually open that up.
Please do. Just a quick talk between the two of them. So, what's this about? Simple, really. You mentioned something that perked my interest. Well, mine and Linsula's. You know more about this whole situation than you're letting on. I'm sorry? Be honest with me. I need to know what you at least think is going on in regards to you being framed. And before you get worried, I understand. I'm not exactly from a squeaky clean background myself. What do you mean? You run with a few gangs here and there, and suddenly everyone wants you dead. So, why don't we talk a bit, so we can make sure no one else wants you dead? Right, I suppose that makes sense. How much time do you have? How much time do you have? Till the moon comes out. So, I'm all ears. And that conversation is going to happen off screen.
Meanwhile, over here, as it's the sun's starting to go down, Saline just sort of seems to be fidgeting his paws like he's nervous. And Vane looks over at him and gives him a hug, and he's like, "Don't worry, it's just tonight. The moon ain't gonna hurt you." Oh, come
Fire
on.
breaks in.
Come on, you know what the full moon does. I do. And if anything happens, I'll be there. Fine. Just... well, at least enjoy the fireworks, right? We will. And you'll get to see them for the first time. Oh no, I've seen them once before, just not quite in the most cheerful circumstances. Well, you saw bombs, you didn't see fireworks. Yeah, I suppose. Well, let's just try to enjoy this, okay? I'll be here. And with that, everyone else is ready for the night time.
I'm just gonna poke and prod at Saline and be like, "Where breaks in?"
Oh, Eloise down there. Okay. So,
No,
transitioning to the night.
oh god, Farinor took over for Luby's spot. Just like squished.
Okay. The team can go where they please.
Oh, that was... okay. Oh, hey, it's a full moon.
Saline just kind of shudders at the mention of that. Zane just continues to keep his arm around him.
Levi is completely oblivious to that and is just admiring the moon for what it is.
Well, it does seem to light up everything out here. More
I'd-
than normal.
Eric will glance over, but knows it'd probably be rude to interrupt. Where?
Luby's gonna sit and ponder for a bit.
Couldn't have timed this. Go ahead.
You first.
Couldn't have timed the celebration any better. What are the chances that it would happen on a full moon?
It's probably not going to happen like this for another 30 years.
Exactly.
Last time I saw a full moon, well, I'm sure you can understand it's been quite cloudy over Noir, so you don't get to see the moon or sun very often.
Yeah, you're right. Now you mention it. Well, hey. I wish we could turn the town lights off. We'd be able to see all the stars, too. Well.
It's not that
Still
bad.
beautiful.
Well, I'm sure either way it'll be enjoyable.
Yeah. I mean, wait, aren't we missing two of the people that's supposed to be celebrating this? I mean, I imagine they'd be around.
What do you mean?
The Noivern and the Ninetails. I
Saw them
realized
up that way.
Aren't they the ones
You
setting
mean-
this out?
they are.
Exactly.
Right, Kuo is the pyrotechnic. Right.
You know, that's actually a funny thing. I said Alubi was going to ponder, and it's just like, well, there's an orb in the sky. Ponders the full moon.
So, team has gathered around. Leela just looks over at Padrock with a little smile as she's sitting down waiting for the event to happen.
Padrock will smile back and greet the make sure to greet the rest of her team friendly.
Farrah gives a smile to him, and the two dark types give a little snicker, but a little nod to him.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Imagine the electro type Delphox comes skidding into the scene,
Electro slide.
finding a spot, and
What's that popping noise?
I don't
Popping
know.
You
noise?
hear it too.
Like, I'm hearing that
where's
as
it
well.
coming from?
Ow.
I don't know.
Oh, I think it might be the music player. It's goofing up a little bit.
Maybe. I'll kill
How are
that
you
and
setting it?
restart it?
It has been a while.
Is that better?
Yeah,
Much
not
better.
hearing it anymore.
Yeah, that was Discord.
Okay.
Being
That was a
Discord.
sound. I thought it was my headphones shorting out.
Yeah, I heard it too. I just ignored it. I was just like, I thought it was someone's microphone popping for a moment there.
Hmm.
But then I
Discord
noticed the
being
music was
Discord.
distorted. Yeah, then I started noticing the music getting distorted.
So the teams gathered around the two campfires. One coming from Serenity's fire and another normal flame. So, let's see. So, to note, when you do screen share on Discord, oftentimes if you have a external audio device, it'll cause distortions in the audio, and you just have to restart the screen share on Discord.
Distortions.
Yep.
They're
But-
not wrong.
Distortions in your freaking audio.
But
I mean, they're not wrong.
Look for the green.
it just happens. Not really you can really do about it except restart the screen share. But yeah. So teams gathered around. Anything they're going to do while they're waiting for the show?
I do have one thing, to which I'm going to do quietly. I'm gonna have Levi step away for a bit and just head off towards the farm. give some money to Sunrose before coming back. And thankfully, like, mine is purely on discount, but they're gonna take a moment to roast a few berries and have a little, basically have a carton of berries for anyone that wants any to roast over the fire, preferably the red one. I'm not sure the blue one does.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure the blue one is safe. Doesn't have any chemicals in it at all.
Not the chemicals I'm worried about.
Propane.
Also, propane and propane accessories.
God damn it, both of you.
God dang it, Bobby.
What's the caster doing?
He's just gonna crawl up next to one of the fires and just stare up at the sky.
Warm.
The
Blue
worm
flame.
reminds it. The worm reminds him of mom.
And
Hey, wait.
Apollo.
Blue flame.
Apollo is just gonna be vibing with Artemis and Moria. And out of character, there is one person that Apollo would want to try and see the show with, but we spoke about her, and
Yeah.
unless you are okay with me approaching her right now, I'll go ahead and give it a miss for right now. And just let this be family time.
For the time being, she's sort of just chilling with the other water types. But... And Eloise, up at the tavern.
As he said, he's pondering the orb.
What orb are we talking about?
Moon.
Orb.
Yeah, because he's in the perfect spot to really look up at it without, too many things being in the way.
The rock type looking at the rock in the sky.
The god of rocks. I mean,
Rock
the funny
cult.
thing is that rock types are often compared to like cosmic type moves, such as like meteor beam and such. It's kind of a funny thing that rock type is the most closely related to the moon.
The fairy. The fairy.
Please, no. I thought about it too. This is like, there's one other.
Remember
There's
this.
one other.
Up, down, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, down, up, down, up, left, right.
God.
Party, please.
I remember that mini
Party,
game.
please.
I remember that mini game.
I am. There's a PTSD here that I didn't know was there until you started that.
Fairy, fairy. Just that
Please stop.
sound. That
Please
sound.
Please, I beg of you.
Honestly,
Scott isn't here with the sound.
Oh God, no! Please, not
Soundboard.
again. Have mercy.
honestly, there's another one that would be just as addicting, and it's just luddy luddy go low, luddy luddy go low.
Oh God. But Lacey, should I or
Did you?
I'm asking in regards to
Oh, about the show?
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I don't have any flashy effects to put on screen for the show.
all right.
So,
We'll just call it an
and...
We'll just call it epilepsy warning and keep going.
So, you and 8000 can go on that front to describe what is going on.
Sure.
As
get-
8000 rubs his hands together in preparation.
You want me
And
to
then
start?
just suddenly, and then
Your
suddenly
show.
just slams the piano.
Well, I have an idea for how the show would probably start.
Oh, go for it then.
The show would probably start with a bright bang as a giant streak of light streaks over the audience, curving around more than a fireworks should probably be able to.
Mortar.
Like as if the firework was sentient. And as the firework goes shooting up into the sky, you can see that it was moving because Reuven and Kua were holding on to it.
Oh my god!
Riding it at just the safe height above the crowd. The fireworks goes shooting up with a giant yellow burst as the rest of the more automated show begins.
Nice.
Just kind of rubs his hands together and gets ready to just smash that piano.
And imagine after that, Kua would take a landing with him and Reuven so that they too could watch the show that they had put together.
We can move them closer. Or to the,
Sure
to
thing.
the... Actually, better idea. Island in the center of the lake.
I mean, that
Yep.
was a genuine question. Where's Reuven and Kua?
Yeah, where are we supposed to be looking?
Like, imagine it'd be like them soaring over the crowd as they ride the giant firework and releasing it as they shoot as it shoots up over the middle island. And from there, I'd imagine there'd be like fireworks launchers set up on the roofs, pointed so that they would be bursting over top of the central island.
In regards to that idea, all you see on as Kua and Reuven land, and that one initial firework blows up into the sky, illuminating it with a, let's say, a red and white flare.
I like
You
it.
see Reuven just pull out a small device and just push a button on it, as several more fireworks begin sequentially illuminate the sky. Different patterns and different shapes could be designed and made from the fireworks that you see above. From green and blue, to yellow and orange, red and purple, circular, square, even a few triangles here and there. You even see a firework that's shaped in the form of a rescue badge. The fireworks are not too close together as to bombard you with sound, but rather spread out in such a way where, well, it's never missing for too long. Each firework is able to paint the town in its own special color. In one case or another, the fireworks were designed to be a bit more, shall we say, personalized. One of the fireworks, well, I won't say one, but rather a series of fireworks that were launched into the air decided to spell something. It simply spelled one of the teams in the guild. Oh my god, a sneeze.
Team Sneeze.
Act you.
Team lettuce. Ah, yes. The one team lettuce splurt.
God damn it.
Team Melange.
But no.
Oh my god, Team Launch.
The team name that was spelled by the fireworks was Team Blackthorn, actually. Which means 10 or more different fireworks were organized in such a way where they would explode and spell out each team name, each letter in the name one by one.
Oh.
However, it didn't end there, as more fireworks were set up to do the exact same thing for other names. But it was also spread it out. You would get to see more fireworks and shapes get sent up into the sky. Nothing too crazy. But there was one that would seem a bit more, I suppose, concerning. There was a firework that blew up into the sky in, let's say, a trio of explosions. One could say it looked like a bunch of triangles. Another could say it looked like a giant claw. However, it was quickly met up with another firework that was an incredibly strong explosion. that wherever it was whatever claw or triangle-like shape was made in the sky, dissipated to the explosion that covered it up.
How did you read my mind?
Dun.
I was like that. Nice. Like I
Say, I guess he used a little bit of mind reading on you.
But there, of course, as I said earlier, there were other names that were spelled out in the sky as well. Team Jungle's name popped up in, well, more foresty colors. Meanwhile, Team Eclipse's name also popped up in an interesting mix of light and darkness. Of course, Team New Dawn's name popped up as well, along with one more name. One dedicated to the old guildmaster, being Apollo. Characterized by a G in front before it spelled out Apollo. So there wasn't much of confusion. But even after all the characterized stuff, majority of the explosions in the sky that painted it with all sorts of colors were mainly circular and, well, big. It was definitely a feast for the eyes, despite the scent of gunpowder slowly drifting through the air.
And that's when Elvive is just saying, seems they've been making up names to play up into the air. I don't know how they really do that, though. The smell of gunpowder, and he's just like, no.
Shiny. So, does Padrock notice anything?
The fact that Leela stepped away.
Like,
Leela stepped away. Whoop.
My focus was on the island. Yeah, he would probably notice that. What kind of expression does she seem to have?
Sort of a sad one.
Leela? Leela? Where are you going?
She continues to wander off.
Sorry, out of character. Could you repeat that?
She continues to slowly wander off.
He'll rush over to her, putting a paw on her shoulder. Leela? Is everything alright?
Yeah. Sorry. I just had to get away from there. Get away for a bit.
You just say anything, I'm here to listen.
She just takes a deep breath and lets it out. Slowly walks into the garden.
Do you want to be alone, or do you want to be alone with company?
You can come if you want. She slowly sits down and looks up at the show that's still going on before she turns and stares down into the water. She looked rather tense for a bit before she started to calm down.
Was there something about the show that upset you?
No, not the show. It's just I'll say just a moment. Trying to remember what the music was.
Ooh. Music change.
Special.
It's been a while since I could really enjoy something like this with people I like. Didn't want to talk about how I came to start my team earlier because I didn't want to recall what happened before.
He'll nod quietly and just offer himself to lean on if she needs it.
I had a brother before. His name was Lester. He and I went everywhere together. We were the perfect duo. Could take on anything. A few years ago, though, during the celebration, we decided to go out venturing into the forest. It's near Indicus Town. It wasn't anything special, but during our trip we had an accident. And my brother fell over the cliff that cut through the town. She takes a deep breath and tries to recollect herself. It took a while before the Swana from the Indicus Guild could go and bring him back up, but he didn't make it. Since then, I can't bring myself to enjoy this day. What was supposed to be fun, I could never take part. She shakes her head and takes a few deep breaths, trying to collect her thoughts and calm down. I recently was able to form Team Blackthorn with Farah, who I knew in Ritzville for most of my life. We met Trevor and Daniel later, and I felt like I was starting to grip myself again. Maybe I could look past what happened and actually be here today. It's still difficult, but she looks over at him. You're a good friend, Paddock. You and your team. It was wonderful to be able to spend time with others for once, and I'll always be grateful for this day, even if it's still hard.
I'm honestly at a loss for words. That sounds like a tremendous loss.
I'm sorry to drop this on you now.
You don't owe me any apologies.
Leela just sort of steps over to the water and she takes a look up at the sky, at the full moon, before letting out a shrill howl.
Hadrock will attempt to join with her, for as much as a fox's howl is worth.
After a few moments, she just looks down into the water before taking a step back and looking at the ground before turning back to Badrock. She has sort of what seems like a bittersweet smile towards him. I'm glad you're here, Badrock. Thank you for coming to listen to me.
Anytime.
Gives a slow nice nod to his cheek, one that lasts a few more seconds. Should
He'll lean in.
How audible was that howl
Do what?
exactly?
Probably not that
People-
audible over the sounds of the fireworks still going on.
Well, the fireworks may have possibly ended shortly after she left. If they did, then...
Fireworks
Nah.
can go on for a bit, so I'd imagine they'd be going on like in the background as
Well,
this
okay,
happens.
So, would it be better to just roll a thing to see if he heard it or not?
People can roll perception.
Ew. 2 1s. Ouch.
That's a rip.
Nah, Levi's more focused on the explosions.
Anyone else want to roll perception?
One moment.
This is more just me of wondering if he actually heard it or not.
No.
The
Oh,
ones are
nope.
real today. The ones are real.
You know what? Why not? Might as well, I guess.
You went to Apollo?
I disassociated for just a second. What happened?
Do you want to roll
Badrock and-
perception to hear Lila's little howl?
Nice.
Nothing
The way
escapes
to
Apollo.
describe this is between the bang of the fireworks, you would hear the sound drifting faintly on the air. Just managing to focus in on it at the right moment as you hear the two howls. One, a more natural canine howl, and one a bit, I guess, more
Lighter.
howl. One that I guess one that kind of goes like yep, like not as consistent, but one that's making an effort to join in and be part of the howl.
Is that is that the sound that we're listening for, Portia?
The cat. It's just like, meow.
I guess that maybe not as yelly, but that same sort of beat like that.
Alright. Leela, smiling at Padrock, just slowly steps over to him and is like, I think we kept our friends waiting. Maybe we should tell them we're okay.
Agreed. That's
Gives a brief brush of her tail to his side and walks back with him.
out of character. Did the small love you go through the mic?
Did not.
The two walk back.
Mhm.
And meanwhile, back down at the show.
The way I would, do you have like idea for how the fireworks might end, Chris? Trying to think what would make it. Oh, I think I know what would probably make a good one.
I have an idea though this time. So, as the fireworks show is getting closer to the end, Ruben would just tap Kua, just like a small signal, before he hangs on tight. Meanwhile, Kua would be able to get up into the air and take off into the sky. They go in at an angle in such a way where they're not too worried about the fireworks, but that's when they start the curve, but they also start to speed up, as anyone looking on at the two can see a pillar of fire just erupting from behind Kua.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
And as they're flying towards town, three more fireworks pop in the air, making perfect rings that Kua and Ruben would just fly through at a breakneck pace, leaving behind a fire trail in the air as the line and the fireworks that went off at the end ultimately dissipate. Of course, the flames would stop and Kua would have more than enough time to slow down before landing again.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to add this as are you okay with adding one last thing to the end of that?
Go for it.
I'd imagine one last thing at the end would be, as soon as he lands, there's one final shrill shriek, pulling people's attentions back up to the sky as, what is it, 13? As one firework for every Pokemon type launches into the air, and in a sort of a circle pattern, the different symbols used to symbolize the different types of Pokemon
Like a leaf for grapes.
flash into the air.
18.
18. Yeah.
Well, I'm
18.
fine
So
with
yes, the 18 symbols burst, filling the sky above the town as the fireworks fall silent. And as that show ends, as if signifying that, yes, that was it, Kua would carry Reuven over to the rest of the crowd, joining to mingle.
Huh. A little showy, but that did have some effect.
It was supposed to be showy, Ivy. Reuven responds as he's speaking, there's a little bit of fire that escapes from his mouth as he spoke, but soon enough he hops off of Kua and gets on the ground.
Reuven, you are way the fuck over there. Where are you trying to even talk to Aluvi from down there for?
I thought you were closer, I apologize.
He's way up there on the desk.
I thought they were closer. I thought you were in the fire. Okay, my bad.
I'm kidding with you.
Anyways. Anything the others do?
Paul's just
Sorry.
chilling with Ari. So
Levi would just give an applaud.
Faster.
Aster just still kind of stunned by the pyrotechnics.
Who aims to please.
Tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we both worked on this.
Urge to be a pyromaniac intensifies.
Aster, no.
Like
Look, like mother, like son.
Oh, yeah, if they become a Flareon, that's definitely going to be what they do. Pyromania.
I feel no man, but that thing, it's scared.
What'd you say, Coop?
Seems Casper likes the spicy noise too.
Briefly, Glacialis just looks around in thought before the tip of her tail glows silver and she flings it in the air, releasing a silver streak of light that seems to explode in multiple colors. Just her own little bit of display.
That actually gets Riven to like just pause and just cock his head up and just stare at the sky like, well,
Yeah,
okay.
I imagine it sounds like a little glittery kind of sound effect where it's just like. "Bling."
Okay, that's cool.
Just,
How'd you do
Cool.
that?
Kua nods in approval.
just smiles at them. My little secret.
Yes, among the many.
Light burst.
Blip. So, after that, Lincilla steps forward and looks around at everyone. Well, I suppose that concludes the show, and, well, I see some people have already gone to bed, but if you guys want to stay up, we can always enjoy a little bit more.
I've still got a bit of gas left in me.
Well, just try not to stay up too late, alright?
Shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Yep, I am more than capable of carrying some of you off the bed if you stay up too late. Or pass out.
No way.
Whichever comes first.
The last thing you want to wake up to is Jericho giving you an icy press.
Oh, it's not that bad, Olivia.
Lincilla looks back at Rain. Well,
Well, what?
anything you want to say, or have you had a bit too many drinks?
I'm a steel type, first of all.
What's alcohol?
Second of all, you've already said exactly what needs to be said.
Well, I figured
Okay.
you might have a few words, old master.
Nah. Like you said, if they're tired, they need to go to bed. But tonight's a night to be celebrated. Tomorrow we'll get back to work, but till then, let's enjoy the time for what it is.
Very well. Just goes back to the table to sit down and tend her own things.
Meanwhile, Rain just takes another sip of liquor before putting it on the counter. Why? He likes the taste. He can't get drunk. He just likes the taste.
Oh, what
See,
about
for-
what about
What?
the other players?
Louis probably gonna stick it out for the night a little bit. He feels like he needs to take in fresh air, like he said her before.
Levi is not going to bed right now.
I mean, it's said that Fennekins are night owls. May as well.
However, he's going to lay on his back with Team
Blackthorn.
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 Looking up at the moon as he enjoys the feeling of the grass on his back.
Castor's
Meanwhile-
probably gonna
Go on.
go ahead. I was just gonna say Castor's probably either gonna go back to bed or to the library to go over some of his
With his slick
writings.
back hair.
Go over either just to go to sleep or go over some of the stuff he's written down and double check some of the history he's written. Make sure he
Meanwhile,
has everything.
up here, Salim's just sort of keeping to his tea. His pink eyes are glimmering in the moonlight as he's trying to contain himself while Zane keeps him company.
I just realized something.
Hmm.
My token for night scene is apparently not the current token.
Is it?
Yeah. Look at my health values versus the one that it should be at.
I
was
mean,
like,
that
wait a minute.
that
I was like,
follows
wait a
your,
minute.
character sheet.
It shouldn't be 54. It should be 63. And it even says my EXP is at 210. It's using the
Yes.
old one.
Just gotta update it.
Don't know why it's doing that. I'll just off this here.
Well, Luffy has been cloned.
But yeah. So, Apollo, anything you're doing? As a note, pretty much all the planned things are finished. So there's now some time for some free roleplay.
All right.
Well,
Hey, fair enough.
Luffy's been not really too preoccupied with anything really focusing on his attention, so he's kind of glancing over at Zane, wondering what the deal is with those two.
All right. Well, Apollo's gonna stand himself up and go into a downward dog stretch out. Well, all right. What did you think of that little display up in the sky?
Oh, it was wonderful. Not something you see all the time.
Definitely not, but at least the festivities will be here once a year from
All
for
right,
a
Artie.
long time.
So, I think we can probably settle things down and go into a downtime if people want to do more roleplay.
Though
And
I do want to ask Zane something real quick, if that's okay.
go on.
Hey, Zane. Now that all the festivities are over with,
Yes.
I've been meaning to ask. Earlier, Lucas pointed out that you are more versed around natural medicines, right?
I am.
Do you think you could work with me on that sometime?
Perhaps.
Though I did notice you two haven't really joined the rest in the festivities. Is that everything okay?
Oh, we don't particularly take part in, well, the big social gatherings, so to speak. We like to spend time together a lot. Enjoy our tea, talk, and enjoy the few days that we actually get to have to ourselves.
I can understand that. I'm not much for being surrounded by a large society as well. But yeah, that was all I wanted to know, if that was all right.
Oh, it's perfectly fine.
I'm sorry I haven't really spoken with you too much, Saline.
Oh, it's okay. You can always speak some other time.
Ooh, it seems like I'm a little more tired than usual.
Perhaps
Maybe I
you
think-
go get some rest.
Perhaps, but I just... I don't know why, but I feel like stargazing is just a thing I may become interested in someday. It's strange, just seeing what's out there that you can't reach. But only at a specific time.
Huh?
You ever feel that way?
Sometimes.
Seeing something that you just can't reach, but you often wonder if you could, what would you do if you could? Maybe that's just the rock type in me speaking.
Who knows? I think that might be a good place to call it. What do you guys think?
I mean, I have one more thing.
Go on.
Which is just checking in with our dark and brooding Samurott friend.
Farinor, of course.
He looks over at Levi, just sort of sitting there, his force crossed, just kind of thinking about things.
How you holding up, big guy?
Oh, I'm doing well. Been a while since I've had to just sit down and enjoy something.
That's the... Huh. I think that's the first time when I've asked you that, you said something rather positive than uncertain. Nice.
Maybe I'm getting back to my old self.
Looking forward to it.
Just gives a small smirk to him. I'd warn you.
Huh?
I tend to be quite mischievous.
You know, if you're anything like Reuven over there, I prefer mischievousness over dark and brooding.
Well, I worked with the Nine Tails myself, so...
Meanwhile, Reuven just quietly peeks over, having heard his name.
It's like, I heard somebody call my name. It's like, what you talking about over there?
But no, like, Levi would just smile a bit before shaking his head. I know you said you haven't seen the sky too much since your time of living in Noir, but I'd imagine this is a pretty different atmosphere. Plenty of people to be around. A little bit of a walk back into your old life. Seeing the sky, having a celebration. Good lights. Good natural lights. Not to mention an uplifting atmosphere.
He pulls out his old badge and looks at it, and he's like, "Who knows? Maybe someday I'll see Rafaro again. If anything Glacial says is true."
I mean, I have unfortunately learned the rule: if you didn't see them die, they're probably still alive.
Wish I could say the same about Theresa.
Nay. Of course. Wherever they may be now, may they rest peacefully.
I'm sorry, I giggled a little too audibly there because of what happened just then. Don't say Reuven's name 3 times in a row. Reuven suddenly appears right behind Aluvivi. Ah!
And then screen cuts to black.
Oh god.
And then you just see the Dark Souls screen pop up. You died.
So.
But other than that, Farinor's in a good mood. I'm having fun. I'm gonna probably mess around with this in downtime.
So we're all good to end the session?
We're good.
Mm-hmm.
We're good.
Alright. So that is the end of session 11. I think that went pretty well.
Yep.
Session
Definitely a lot
1-1.
more sluggish for me, but it was all right.
It's the session of 1-1.
Did you see or did you hear what Leela was talking about during the night?
It's definitely listening to her. I had to look away a few times from the screen and take my headset off, so I missed part of the conversation.
Ah.
Might want to watch the VOD for that.
Maybe.
But let's see. Open a new window.
Honestly, when I heard when Leela started howling, I was expecting her to evolve right then and there, and it's just like, oh nope, not tonight.
Oh,
Not
a
quite yet.
midnight. Not a midnight Lycanroc just yet.
Not yet.
Although, if she evolved before Padrock, I'd imagine she'd be carrying him around, just like messing around with him.
That sounds cute.
She can already do that with Vine Whip. Literally just
Yes,
carrying
but-
above.
That also sounds cute.
Let's see.
What are you
Pictures.
pulling it? Oh, before pictures.
Mhm.
I just wanted to get my 2 cents in.
Go on. Oh yeah, I
Percent?
did forget.
I had such a good time with this session. Thank
Good.
you, and hey,
It
thank you
definitely
everybody else for like I know there's a bit of times where I was quiet trying to think of what Padrock would say in those moments, but
Mhm.
Thank you, God, I love those.
The little
You
interaction.
just really like those interactions. That was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah,
Like I said, I
And
wanted
also
to-
getting to improvise the fireworks with you, Bryce. That was also nice. You did an amazing job with the main bulk. I was gobsmacked with how you just described the central chunk of the fireworks there.
Like I
honestly, I
said,
feel like Patrick needed this kind of
Moment.
moment.
I wanted to give everyone their time.
Mhm.
Hopefully, I got to do that.
Yeah, I think most of mine was in the previous session at the start of this one,
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
which is fine by me because I'm content to just vibe.
That was
Yeah.
honestly even that was a nice little character scene you had. It was a surprise to see who Mother was. But it was kind of cute to see the 3 enjoying each other's company.
Well, I hoped I was able to broadcast that Aluvi was feeling conflicted about his role, but most
Yeah.
of that seemed to be better portrayed in downtime. Sadly.
I think you did quite a good job with
You
that
did a good job.
downtime.
So, going from left to right, Artemis, what did you think of the overall session?
I think it went pretty good. Being able to break things up into individual scenes feels like it helped a whole lot.
Agreed.
Doing what Scott does in Rise.
Yeah.
Might
While
work
it
a
takes
little better.
while it takes a little bit longer, it's honestly a lot less crowded that
Smoother.
way. Yeah, it's smoother.
And what about you, Bryce?
So, while you say it took a lot longer, if you consider it, last time we went to about 1 o'clock.
Yeah, it's only 11:39.
We got a lot more taken care of doing this one at a time than it would have been if we all tried doing it in the original way we did.
Hmm.
That said, though, similar to what 8000 said, I am so glad that we got a chance to do the fireworks scene. I had to sit there and think about that for a while on how I wanted to do that, just to make it look really cool. Because I knew it was going to be mostly theater of the mind. I'm just like, what's a good description I can do to make this sound really cool? And it just went back and forth from there. Then I got to showcase the Kua jet.
Mhm.
Do a jet.
That you did during the Rise ATS little story.
Yeah.
Go on.
The other thing is words. I appreciate the little roleplay things here and there. I also felt that it was necessary for me to do that. Have a brief, off-screen conversation with Levi and Ray in regards to what's going on. It was more so for me to take care of what I felt was an accidentally created loose end.
Hmm.
But all in all, yeah, this session was awesome. I
First-
have to see what I can do to make it better next time.
First actual town session that was, well, planned out and done. What did you think
Yep.
of Harzaf?
In regards to the little side thing with Leela, the reason why I was asking if anybody would have heard that howl is that, yes, while it wasn't really important generally, there is the tidbit that I wanted to see if Aluvi would have heard it because, he's sitting there mostly alone and away from a lot of the chatter.
Yeah.
But also because, it's something of a wonder for him later. I wasn't going to act on it that night. Of course not. It would take too long.
Yeah.
But thank you for actually humoring me on that one. Only for Apollo to literally just get the vibrations of sound go through his entire fluff like 26, and I'm just looking at it like 66%. What?
So, straight, what'd you think?
I think we got to everybody.
And also that scene with
I'm now unmuted.
you're now unmuted.
I liked where things were going tonight. I knew I wasn't going to get a whole lot to do tonight, just because a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do was done during the last session. And yeah, I'm very much in the same boat with Artemis that I am cool to just vibe because this is a good group.
Because you became a bubble.
Also, I forgot to mention the only caveat that I feel was missed out on. I know we touched on it in downtime, but I would have liked to approach Team Vanguard and just talk.
You can always
know
do
we
it
get-
later on.
I know it could pop up later on during session, but
Yeah.
like we already
Still-
cleared we cleared the air with one team member rather than the whole team, and it's just like
Yeah, the timing could have been like right after the downtime, and that would have made sense. I see what you're getting at. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Though at the same time, I wasn't expecting that twist with Aaron. I wasn't prepared for that, but I welcome it.
Guess
Like,
what?
they- it's
I
like,
wasn't
what they
either.
twist? It's like, what they twist? It's his
Wait,
mother.
wait! You weren't expecting it either.
Artemis and I literally talked about that a few hours before session.
Correct.
No.
Wow.
That explains why you didn't react to it last session. I was about to say.
Shush. Shush you. Work in progress.
Work in progress. I have a fire fluff my bum.
Look, a lot of these stories are works in progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. I mean, Aluvi's is like on the nose most of the time.
So, 8,000, anything else you want to say?
Can't think of too much on the mind. Just really glad I got that chance to be cute, and that reveal scene was pulled off quite well.
In
Definitely
regards,
feel-
in
like,
regards, Go on.
regards to Leela's past and her brother, like
Lester.
sister.
In regards to that little scene, I was actually choking the hell up while I was reading the script. Like, I was having a difficult time doing it.
Hold the glaze.
It
Hold.
it showed in the characters trying to speak.
It came out great, I think.
It came out amazing.
I second Bryce there. It came out amazing. You
Thanks.
did great with that. Like, overall, I'm just super happy with how the session went.
Well, let's hope we
It
have
was
more
lovely.
sessions like this.
Thank you, everyone.
So, for pictures, first We have a little
Dad.
screenshot
Dad.
that Laros posted since he couldn't do any modeling work this time.
Yeah, he's taking a break. Also,
Little-
good chatter.
Go picture of Padrock and then
Mhm.
another go picture of Padrock with freaking
It's like Patrick's on the bed.
Smeargle
And he-
popping.
Yeah, and then the Smeargle just kind of photobombs.
Hi,
Photo
Trace.
bombs by
That
face.
shot.
And then Apollo and a bubble.
Bubble Palo. Oh, that's tiny.
Cannot
Hold up,
escape
hold up.
Araceli.
There you go.
Hang on just a second. Let me pull up.
Oh, you,
Which kinda-
you should read the. Sorry.
Twitch kind of shit itself right as you were showing those last few pictures on me.
Hmm.
Gotta love it.
Apollo cannot escape Araceli.
You should read the description that was posted with those bubbles.
Let's see.
I didn't want to take 12 hours to model this 24 hours later after animating this. I think I'll stick with Blender.
I know
Bubble.
I'm taking a break and need to take care of myself, but I feel bad I didn't have any pick for this first session. I'm gonna do a quick meme on Photoshop so I don't spend 12 hours on Blender. 24 hours later, I'm gonna stick to Blender.
Fair.
Pain. Pain. Gifts
then-
for pain. And let's see what else there
So, Levi, you want to read it?
is.
Hold up. Okay, I see it. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Take that. That's a legendary Mew.
What's a Mew?
The heck did you say?
Gesundheit. It's like Gesundheit.
And
I'm sorry, what?
that was done by Ninja Blade.
Yeah.
Just we got a new meme creator.
Mm.
Yeah, approve.
So, that's it for the pictures. And I wonder who should we raid today?
We should raid the Flippy.
Flippy. Let's see what the Flippy's doing right now.
14.
Patch 6.1 day in Final Fantasy 14. Oh yeah, the patch is out now.
And
Alright.
It revamped Cape Westwind.
Alright, we can go out to Mako and have some fun with them. So, the raid, Mako. I had a brain fart trying to think if there was an underscore there or not. Channel is intended for mature audiences, yeah. So, with that, that concludes session 11, and the next session will, of course, be next Tuesday. And I hope you'll all be there for it.
Gotta give Mako a taco. Give
Woo.
Mako a taco.
See you, Fra, and everyone else, and I hope you'll have fun with Mako. And we will see you next week.
Bye. Have a wonderful time.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Have a
Yeah.
good time.
Raid.